Earlier in the program, we attributed a ramp up in activity or risk to generative AI. Do you see that across your desk at the moment as well?
Absolutely. Generative AI is the next phase in cybersecurity, both from an influencing the opinions as well as industrializing the attacks. So absolutely. And thus you need AI for protection as well.
Shlomo, we welcome you to San Francisco.
Thank you for having me.
How much of the conversation that you're having while you're in town is about the election, or do clients and your peers have other concerns?
Well, it's mostly around cybersecurity in general, and the election is one big transaction that needs to be protected. But I would say that if you look at the new economy, the number one risk to it is cybersecurity.
And yet, post this earnings season of companies that you wrote the first check into, Palo Alto Networks or other cybersecurity names, they're down because people aren't spending at quite the pace that the market had anticipated in their cyber defenses. Do you worry about that?
Yeah. Actually, we are here, and Cato, my company, is here to solve that because the security industry for 30 years have focused on the what and created a huge number of point products that essentially are not consumable by most enterprises. So the cybersecurity market is broken. And the need to fix it is by finding new ways to consume it. And the platform that Cato provides is the new how that will fix it.
Let's talk about that. Secure Access Service Edge, SACE, as one might say it for short, seems to be the new way in which you think you should be delivering cybersecurity across a platform workload, unlike, you say, now one of your biggest competitors, which is Palo Alto Networks. Right. How much is that resonating? How much are you seeing enterprises adopt? Or indeed, is it governments? Who are your end consumers for this at the moment?
So I would say that the pain of point solutions is everywhere, but at least at the mid to large enterprises, the gap between resources and challenges is the most severe. So the need for SASE and platforms such as Cato provides is the most acute, and we see the most traction in these type of organizations today. But eventually, the concept of platforms and consumption through platforms is going to replace the entire cybersecurity market.
Let's talk about the market and its players. We have a little David and Goliath story on our hands. You wrote the first seed check for Palo Alto Networks. Now you have Cato. It's a smaller player. But if we extrapolate out, you're basically saying, I don't think the legacy big guys have done very well. I'm going to try again to do something a bit different.
You are absolutely right. And there was also a first-generation Checkpoint where I was the co-founder. And Palo Alto came and simplified through convergence and through a platform a market that was software-based by using an appliance. But guess what? Digital transformation came and created a very fluid way of doing businesses. Work from anywhere, applications are anywhere. So there was a need for a new type of platform. And that's essentially what Cato provides. And all the appliance vendors or the second generation vendors are trying to adjust and adapt, but they bring with them so much baggage that it is very difficult for them.
We've talked about where technologically the threats are coming from, what the concerns of your industry are. But geographically, where are the threats coming from? You know, we're kind of zeroed in on a domestic situation, but as we learned, foreign entities, China, Russia, are active in this space.
Right, absolutely. And we are talking about times of peace when you're seeing this massive international cross-border attack happens. And organizations, especially the mid-enterprise, are suffering. And imagine what will happen at times of war. You don't need to imagine much. Go to Ukraine in 2017 with no Petya, and you would see that 80% of the economy was down because of this type of attack. So really fixing this mass market problem of cybersecurity is critical as a defense against these times of wars.
And it's notable, of course, our hearts go out to the fact that, of course, you're traveling to us from Israel at the moment, and I know that always something that affects your businesses and those, of course, across the border as well. I'm interested, Shlomo, in your business in particular, at a time when the market was having real difficulties. We were thinking in the doldrums of 2023, VC had been pulled back, and you were still able to raise funds. And you were still putting in, $238 million was what you raised back in September of 2023. Lightspeed Ventures there once again. You've talked a lot about wanting to go public. At the moment, are you thinking about that will be a 2024 endeavor? How are you assessing the American markets, also as well as the American cybersecurity markets that you sell into?
Well, Cato is a leader in this next generation SASE market, and being a public company is a milestone, which we will get to when both company and markets are ready. But absolutely, this is an opportunity to build a large public company that will lead this category.